All right, I'm
Okay.
recording. I'm recording. I want to say welcome to Social D Theater with Hassan El-Amin and friends. And I am blessed and honored to have a dear friend of mine, Mr. Kenneth Green, here on Social D with me as I do a spotlight moment. Kenneth is in Atlanta. I'm in San Diego, California. He says it's raining cats and dogs there. So I'm hoping that Zoom and the internet will be gracious to us. Bless us, Father. Bless us.
It's nice to see you today. And how is it in lovely San Diego?
It's gorgeous, just simply gorgeous. I was
I'm
on the beach
jealous.
today doing some riding. I don't know, about upper 70s, sun shining. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So how are
Nice.
you, Kenneth?
I'm terrific. I'm terrific. Had a great day today, Memorial Weekend. Went and got a little barbecue.
Okay.
And so all is good. So I'm going to once I get done with you, I'm going to sit down and try to do a little work.
Okay, I won't keep you long. I'm grateful that you're here. Now, I just want folks to know that Kenneth and I go way back. We started together in San Diego. That's where we first met each other. We were teenagers at the time, and we were working under the tutelage of the late, great
Dr.
Dr.
Floyd
Floyd
Gaffney.
Gaffney. That's right, Dr.
Yes,
Gaffney.
sir.
Kenneth was working as, for me, it was choreography, dance. I was a young up and coming actor and singer, and we met while we were still trying to formulate our way and direction within the realms under the guidance, really, of Dr. Gaffney. So,
Yes.
and as I was saying, Dr. Gaffney would be incredibly proud of you and the accomplishments and what you have been able to achieve. So right now you have the title of CEO for Creative Eye Endeavors, but you've also had a long career as an educator. And you spent how many years at Spelman?
I spent about 33 years at Spelman. I was on faculty in the Department of Drama and Dance. About the last 8 years, I was Director of Cultural Initiatives out of the Office of College Relations, where I was largely responsible for creating cultural programming for the entire campus. So that could include um, um, being responsible for Founders Day, creating historical moments, exhibitions, hosting celebrities that would come to campus to engage with students, faculty, and the community, connecting the community with larger cultural institutions across the country. So it was just kind of a plethora of things that we worked out of that.
So now when we say that, so you actually produced all of these events, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So as a producer of these events, who were some of the individuals that you worked with, if you don't mind me asking?
So we had quite a few over the years. We brought when they're alive, Diane Carroll, Eartha Kitt, Louis Gossett, your good friend Steve Harris, Robert Townsend, Daphne Reed, Tim Reed, just a host of celebrities that have come through over the years that would connect with the campus students and faculty.
So now you've also made history. You've made history. You work with the Walt Disney Entertainment. Am I correct?
Yes, I took a leave of absence for Spelman for a few years, and I was a casting director for Walt Disney Entertainment in Orlando. So I was largely responsible for all of the equity talent that would come through Orlando. So that also included some diversity initiatives and some other programming. But I was the casting director, one of the casting directors for Walt Disney World in
But
Orlando.
also there was some history made because you are the what?
Well, I was the first African American casting director that they had for in Orlando.
How
Yeah,
about that? You
that
made
was pretty cool.
as a
Pretty
first
cool.
African American. Yes.
Absolutely.
So here
Yes.
we are now. It's 2020. CEO of Creative Eye Endeavors. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Creative Eye Endeavors. So what exactly is Creative Eye Endeavors and what do you do?
It's a company. It's just a producing arm that just kind of houses and all of the various projects that I work on. So if it's anything from a festival to a fashion show to a premiere party to a musical stage production, it could be a little bit of everything. So all of those things are kind of housed under that umbrella.
Okay, well, let me go for some specificity here. Now, we had the revealing of the Dr. Martin Luther King monument in Washington, D.C.,
Yes,
and
yes,
you played a great, huge part in that event. What did you do
yes.
at that event?
Well, I mean, I can't tell you, I was so honored to have been selected to be the producer and director of the unveiling of the Martin Luther King Monument on the Mall prior to its big unveiling. We had a big gala, so I was asked to produce that evening. It was celebrity heavy. I couldn't even begin to tell you the number of celebrities, everything from Felicia Rashad to BB Winans, to Nancy Wilson, to Shirley Ralph. I mean, there probably
Goody.
were at least 50 to 60 A-list celebrities that participated in that celebration. And I was just so honored to be the primary writer, producer, and director for that evening.
You
So
heard
it was an
primary
amazing.
writer, producer, director for that evening with over 50 A-list stars. I'm trying to get you.
Absolutely.
He's
It was,
humble, but this brother is ferocious.
well, it was wonderful. It was quite an evening. Quite an evening.
I want to ask you because I saw the thing. What was that when the statue comes to life and you did it for Dr. Lowry and you know
It's
what I'm
called
talking about?
Tableau Vivant. I
Yes.
took the statue Lift Every Voice and Sing that was originally designed by Augustus Savage in 1931 for the New York World's Fair. So we took that piece. Originally, the sculpture was probably about maybe 9 feet tall, and she made it out of sculpting clay, and we had it made. But we made it a tableau vivant piece. So part of the piece was clay, and part of the piece were live, real actors. So we put that piece on stage, and we kind of layered it with music and movement and singers. But the exciting part of it was that when that piece appeared on stage, most of the audience thought it was just a straight piece of sculpture. But at the very end, then the actors kind of tilted their head, and you kind of heard the audience kind of gasp, because it's a very iconic and amazing piece of sculpture. But to kind of bring that piece to make it live on stage was pretty cool.
Oh, I was there that night. I saw it. It was simply amazing. So, I mean, because who was your premier vocalist that night? Who was that?
I think that evening was Carpathia Jenkins.
I think you had Aretha Franklin as well.
Oh, Aretha Franklin closed the evening.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She was the headline, but for that particular segment was Carpathia Jenkins, who was amazing in of itself.
Yes.
Broadway veteran, but Aretha Franklin closed the evening. But we also on that program had Savion Glover, Samuel Jackson, Alfre Woodard, Cassie Davis, Jasmine Guy, Boris Kojo, and his wife Nicole Ari Parker. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
Right. I'm just trying to get people to understand, from you coming from San Diego doing choreography to the kind of productions you're doing with Creative Eye Endeavors, that the quality of the work that you're doing is high level, the individuals who you work with. So sometimes what happens is they see people in the front, they see the stars, but they don't really see the people behind the scenes who are making these things happen. And you, Kenneth Green, are one of those individuals who are.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't look for the glory, and it's all in the day's work.
All in the day's work.
I appreciate it. It's all in the day's work.
Okay.
And I'm very appreciative to have these amazing opportunities.
Well, then speaking of opportunities, what are you doing now? What's, with this COVID-19, are you busy? Are you home? Are you working?
Well, I mean, it's one of these moments where you have to constantly think about reinventing yourself, so I don't usually do a lot of music projects, but interestingly enough, I've been tasked with the music project. I've been working with the Wilson Pickett legacy for about 10 years now, but that's anything for building exhibitions, highlighting Wilson's memorabilia, stage show. We have high school leadership workshops that we produce across the country for high school students. So there's a host of things that we do, but we are now working on reimagining some of Wilson's music, and some of the music we are working on kind of sits very specifically and to celebrate our frontline and our essential workers of the pandemic. So we are in the studio taking some of Wilson's music and reimagining it to celebrate all those workers on the front line. So that's not something I normally do, but in these times, you gotta be on it. You gotta see how you can make it happen, and it's all a learning process, and it's been terrific. So who knows where it may lead? But
is there a target date release or anything like that?
Hopefully this weekend.
Oh, whoa!
Hopefully, we've been in
the studio right now.
In the studio right now. Yeah. Hopefully this weekend, if all goes well.
So how many of Wilson Pickett songs are you recording?
Well, right now we're working on 3. We have one that is going to push out. It's called "People Made the World." It's a Wilson Pickett song that he originally did, I believe, in 1965. So we have reimagined it with 3 singers. So we have the video done. Now it's just a matter of just kind of all of those loose ends that you've got to do to kind of get it out there.
Now these 3 singers, how were they selected?
Well, we actually held a SingOff, which actually came out of, I was on my way to Prattville, which is where Wilson is from. We were getting ready to kick off the Wilson Pickett Music and Arts Festival, which they hold every year in Pattsville. But the mayor shut it down the moment I got off the freeway. This was March 18th, the beginning of the pandemic. So we got there, and I turned around, came back home, and I sat with the Pickett family, and we said, so what can we do? So we came up with the SingOff. We wanted to do something to celebrate artists. So we came up with the SingOff. I met a lot of great singers through the SingOff. A couple of them submitted. I've used a couple from the SingOff. I've had found singers that I'm just familiar with and thought their voice was right. So we kind of have searched kind of high and low, but most of the singers have kind of come through relationships that we have already established.
Oh, good. So with the pandemic because you're in Atlanta, they've kind of opened up the city. And I know you had some, no?
No, yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. Okay. It's crazy. But I'm not, but I'm in the house. Outside of the studio, I'm in the house. No, I'm in the house.
You still taking it safe. I know players.
Yeah, but they're out. Okay. Trust me, they're out. You know.
So right now it's the Wilson Pickett project. And I know you had some other things. So once this thing is kind of lifted, what do you have in the future?
Well, I'm just kind of working on some writing on some projects. Like I said, we all have to kind of stop and reassess, how do we compete, live, make a living as artists in this new world order. And, it's been interesting. So I just kind of have to wait and see. I had just saw Juilliard had their whole department have put out this video on their celebrating the arts at Juilliard. So they had the dancers and the musicians and the singers, and it was actually a very kind of cool Zoom kind of event. But then I noticed today some telephone company had picked them up and turned it into a commercial.
Really?
So it's kind of like, there's no telling where this new world order in terms of arts and where it will lead, right? Because that piece was just put out about 3 weeks ago. Okay. And today I saw it was a TV commercial.
Oh, wow.
I don't know who it was from.
Send me a copy.
Yeah, so things are happening very quick.
Okay.
So you just got to move. You got to be open. I'm not the most technologically savvy person, but I'm having to pay attention. I'm having to jump in if I'm going to be competitive and continue to make a living for a few more years, until I sit down,
Good. Well, I am honored that you would join me, Mr. Kenneth Green, who is the CEO and founder of Creative Eye Endeavors. But again, we go all the way back to San Diego when we were 2 youngsters trying to find our way. And that's why I say, as I stated at the very beginning, Dr. Gaffney would be incredibly proud of you.
Absolutely. He is missed, and I know he would be proud of you as well. And I thank you for all of your inspiration and all of the times I call you on the phone and say, how do I figure this out? And you are the first one to say, this is how you do it. So I appreciate you. I thank you. And I wish you all your much continued success in all of your endeavors as well. So thank you.
Thank you for being here with me on Social D Theater. We both got on red and we didn't even plan it.
Right. All right, man. Take care. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Love you, my brother.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.